that if it's your first time to actually pass through this channel, I'm going to ask you to subscribe, to make sure that you ring the bell so that every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. And to my regulars, I just want to say shout out to you and also say thank you so much for your support. And let's have a conversation. So you just saw the title breaking. So CCC Court of Appeal have been thrown out, and also we're looking at the Zimbabwean exemption permits that has been extended by the South African government. Quite interesting, but for me, with this whole Court of Appeal, hi Nessa, good to see you. Please don't forget, guys, to like the live as we move along. Do not forget, and also making sure that you comment, because you know what, your comments are important. Can I tell you that actually some of these government officials do listen? Yeah, do listen to all these videos, so it's so important for you guys to drop your comments so that at least they will know what are you guys thinking. Good to see you, Destin. Good to see you, man. Guys, I'm super excited, but at the same time, excited. So I'm mixed emotions. But at the same time, I don't know if I would call it mixed emotions, because I definitely was expecting this nonsense, honestly, because I know this is a script. I mean, we all know that Songezo drama is scripted. There's no doubt about that. They are trying so hard to convince us that no, it's really, there's a real deal. That's one thing that I don't like about Zimbabwe's gaslighting. It's not like you're dealing with a psychopath. If you're dealing with an abusive psychopath person, that's how they behave. They'll make you feel bad, like you're the one that is wrong, and then they know they're the problem. But sometimes they don't really know that they're the problems. You know, when you're living a contaminated life, you just think that's the norm, not knowing that no, there's actually another life out there that is so brilliant. So yeah, this is where we are today. We are looking at the Court of Appeal. So quickly now, we have been waiting. I mean, people have been waiting, but I want you guys to take a listen to the advocate that was representing, the Citizen Coalition for Change in the Supreme Court. That is Advocate Amanda Sihle Ndlovu. Take a listen, please.
Yes. Can you tell us what happened? Just a minute. Yes, we are.
My name is Advocate Amanda Sihle Ndlovu. I was representing one class of the appellants, which are the senators. So I'll try my best to summarize and simplify what's taken place today. So before the Supreme Court was two notices of appeal. One on behalf of the first set of members of parliament who were recalled from parliament, and then the second appeal related to the senators who were also recalled in the same time period. So this is the very first bunch of recalled members who were recalled. So in these appeals, because they were filed separately, the senators were not included in the members of parliament appeal. The members of parliament were not included in the senators' appeal. However, the matters were consolidated for the purposes of hearing. Myself and Advocate Tabani Mbofu were representing the appellants. A point was raised, so it's a technical point. And when I say it's a technical point, it means it has nothing to do with the substance of the matter. It has to do with the paperwork, the technicalities. A point was raised to say that because you excluded my clients from Advocate Mbofu's case, then the appeals are fatally defective. It was an unprecedented point in the sense that there's not any authorities to say that is a fatally defective issue. However, the courts found that even though all the appellants were before the court, they found that the notices were fatally defective, such that those notices were struck off the roll. So what that means, it says go and correct that defect, and the appellants still have an opportunity to then refile those appeals in a manner that complies with this issue that has been raised.
So we're likely to come back to court for this particular matter?
And that far I cannot comment. My brief extends to today's hearing. So what I'm saying is that is a possibility of the matter being brought back. The likelihood of the same, it depends on the clients. If they decide they want to come and give it another go, then we may see the appeal being brought before. But what I need to point out is that would then require a bit of an extension of the time period for the appeal to be heard. So there would still be a bit of work to be done in order for the matter to be reinstated.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does that have an implication on the election date, or?
No, it has no bearing on the election date.
You know, I mean, we all knew from the time that the election date was declared that this was a script. I mean, how would you declare an election date considering that the matter was actually before the court? Of course, I mean, I don't want to buy into things that I know they don't exist. That's why I said they're good at gaslighting, and you end up thinking that you are the one that is wrong. You start fighting. You know, you start fighting among yourselves. But that's how wicked people are. Don't give some glamorous word dictatorship. That's nonsense. Evil people work like that. You know, diabolical, devilish human beings operate like that. They have a tendency of throwing evil, and then they want you to act like you're stupid or you're crazy. It's just how they work, because they operate from a wicked space, from a satanic space, and everything good doesn't make sense to them. They always want to hurt the next person to feel good. It's all about ego, you know, ego at play to me. And I don't even want to say it from a point of saying, oh, the person has got ego. I'm saying it. Evil people operate that way. I mean, what's the purpose? Are you surprised why they are busy milking us from the text point? Because they're spending most of their time just running up and down, doing nonsense, sitting on in meetings, just abusing people. I mean, the time we are spending going up and down the courts, these times people should be working, planning, I mean, strategize, sitting around the table and you know, bring you know, specialists on how can we fix the country. But no, they will never do it. They are focusing on milking you dry until they milk your blood. It's all about keeping you suffering. And you ask yourself, why? You can't even answer, because it is evil. That's why there are no answers. It's evil. Simple. Evil people work that way. They operate that way. I mean, people are just back and forth to the courts. And I also saw today as well that the president, mnangagwa, again confirming another by-election date, which is in we said the 3rd of February next year. And like, guys, how long are we going to be doing elections? All because of a person who came through and said, I own the party, and then everything just turned upside down. Oh, we know they're trying so hard to destroy, but they will never destroy, because, I mean, the more they're doing what they're doing, the more we hate them even worse. Because, I mean, who wants to follow people that are so wicked like that? Nobody wants to do so. The more you suppress us, the more we are becoming even more difficult. Do you know that the issue of taxes that they raised in the court is one of the reasons why our fathers, you know, took the arms? Because they were paying the money until they were so impoverished to a point where they said, no, we need to fight for our peace. I mean, you know, right now people are saying from here to go to Harare, if you have to drive from South Africa to Harare, you have to pay nearly 1.2 and runs on toll gates, actually, toll gates. From Harare to maybe Chiredzi, you need to spend nearly $100. I mean, paying for toll gates. People are asking questions. Where are you putting the money? You keep taking and taking and taking, but there is no development in the country. Where are you taking our money? You're soon going to realize where the money is going. You keep taking and taking and taking, but we don't know where you are what you're really doing with the money. But to my surprise, while the same day in the court as well, you see that even you know, the court, that the story that has always been in the court, actually, sorry, the matter that has been sitting in the court for a long time, the matter of Chivayo, you know, the man that has been, you know, importing cars in Harare. Yes. So ZimLive reported that GWANDA will go on. Advocate Lewis, who was actually the attorney for Wicknell Chivayo, you know, lawyer for businessmen, Wicknell Chivayo, and his company, Intratrek, speaks outside Supreme Court after judges confirm High Court ruling that ZESA must see through the 172 million GWANDA solar project, or else they must compensate him with $22 million. You know why the takes are higher? And you know, this is a time for Vene. Vene can do is a please. To them is just taking and taking and taking. If they don't allow him to finish the project so they can pay him 172 million. Are you listening to me? If he can do the work in GWANDA, he must become, if they don't allow him to proceed with the work, then they must compensate him $22 million. That was the judgment. And when did this project started? Long time ago. And still nothing has happened. Still stuck. So either it's going to finish that 172 million project, or they must compensate him 22 million US dollars if they have to do away with his contract. Is that season for Vene? So when they do this, please, now you mustn't be surprised when taxes are higher. So let's take a listen to the attorney when he speaks.
Appeal by the Zimbabwe Power Company. You will recall that the High Court had made a finding that the procurement contract between Intratrek Zimbabwe and ZPC was valid and subsisting, that it had not been properly cancelled, and that specific performance must be granted. And ZPC had appealed that to the Supreme Court, contending that the contract had been validly cancelled or had terminated by the passage of time. They'd alleged certain breaches on the part of Intratrek, as represented by Mr. Chivayo. The Supreme Court found this to be without merit. It found that the High Court properly exercised its discretion in the assessment of the evidence that was before it, and correctly came to the finding that specific performance ought to be granted. As a result, therefore, the appeal was dismissed. And what this means is that the GWANDA solar project will have to go on, and Intratrek would have to undertake that work in accordance with the judgment of the High Court.
And that's the same guy that was actually that is actually Songezo's advocate. This man that is speaking right now is also Songezo's advocate. So he does kind of work for Vene. You know, he's within the parameters of Vene. You can see the way he speaks, the attitude. You know, is that attitude of saying you can't do nothing about it. You know, we do as we please. Is that season of, it's Vene's era. They do as they please, but it will definitely going to come to an end. You know, my mom used to say, "Chisingaperi chinoshura." Did imunozizwa kuti chisingaperi chinoita sei? Chinoshura. We are definitely on our way to the end of this nonsense. We're very close. You know, when the pain becomes too harsh, we are very close. Now, moving on. You know, people alleging that Mr. Mnangagwa is trying so hard to do away with Chiwenga's faction. So he has fired Roy Bila. You know, Roy Bila, the Deputy Minister of the Industry and Commerce. You know. So the ZEP politician becomes the first government minister to be sacked since Mnangagwa reconstituted his cabinet in September this year. But you know, I'm not surprised because his brother has been really vile online, which I find weird. I mean, apparently yesterday to be specific, he was busy attacking the mayor of Masvingo, that small little angel, Chantel, the beautiful queen. The young girl that actually just excited about serving, you know, these young girls. He was attacking her, literally very personal things that are really gruesome, things that are not supposed to be, you know, done by any normal person. But to my surprise, the following day was the day before yesterday, no, early in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. And then the brother is sacked. I was like, you know what? That's what happens when you try to sow evil. You reap evil immediately. Sometimes you do the wrong people. People like us, you do me wrong, yo, you're gonna pay immediately. We don't wait. Us, when we pray and call God, he answers with fire immediately. Because we are God's apple of his eyes, you know. We are his masterpiece. So you can't mess us around, because we don't mess anybody around. We don't. We have no time to do so. So when you cross that line, you get the answer immediately. I was really upset, but I'm so glad that now this is where they are. You know, they were acting like they're smart, like they're owning. Do you remember immediately after elections? I remember that day, they invited me to a space they did on Twitter, literally. They said, no, come. At that time, you need to come to the meeting. I was like, okay, let me go to that meeting. And I was there. And they said to me, no, I want to tell you what's going on with ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is winning in Chirezi. I knew immediately the elections were rigged. Because remember, the previous 2018, people were questioning the numbers as well in Chirezi. That where the hell did they get all those numbers? It's also proved this year as well that they claim, quote unquote, that they've won in Chirezi with such a huge margin. And I was like, really? With all people are suffering in Zimbabwe, where do you get such a huge margin? But you know what? They are being sacked. They're being sacked. That's what happens. One by one, for those that has been thinking that they think they own ZANU-PF. People like Joe Charamba, and they don't last, I'm telling you. Eventually, the president will do away with them. He will. Because his name is going down as they keep on speaking nonsense. His name is going down because people are saying the president of Zimbabwe. Imagine being the leader of SADC and then your people, look, your spokesperson was literally threatening another president that you'll be face to face in a meeting. To me, like any normal person can never be able to sit in that meeting and feel good. But since we know our people don't have no conscience, they can still think maybe that is normal, but it's really embarrassing. And under normal circumstances, like in my own word, it's a shame to see people of such high caliber behave like they are not human beings. Very disrespectful to their brothers and sisters. They always use vile. But I'm glad this is where they are now. I think they can also taste the bitterness of their medicine. You're busy attacking a single little child who's just trying. But now that you've been fired, what's next? Because you also, the brother went to Twitter and tweet. He was trying because he felt very embarrassed because people kept on asking, did your brother face elimination? He says, breaking news. Roy Bila fired as Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce. So so will be addressing the nation today on board. Another drama over drama and drama. I can't read that. This because of thousands of inquiries, especially from Chiredzi and Chipinge. Thank you, Zimbabwe. I think one of the problems that we are facing even worse is our people has become so toxic and vile that they just thinking that by bootlicking the regime, it gives them that an endorsement or authority to actually be treating each and every person they meet as nothing. Is literally nothing. The way they speak to other people, this issue of this sham of an election is not a Chamisa issue. It's a Zimbabwean issue. It affected a lot of people. I can only imagine the rural, especially the older, the people that are really suffering. I may not consider myself a person who's suffering, even if I don't have everything that I may want. But the truth is that at least I've eaten, But I can only begin to fathom what someone is feeling. Yesterday, I had a chat with my mom. Yesterday, my heart was broken. I want to tell you this story so you can know how deep the situation is in Zimbabwe. My mom said to me, they received a phone call from someone from the church. He said, and I'm going to say it the way my mom said to me, and it was very painful. Said that the man said, you know what, I've told daddy that I've never gone to the bathroom for the past week. And they were asking, but why? I thought maybe the person's not well. No, he said, no, because we are not even eating. There's no food in the house. I've got kids. We're literally struggling to eat. How can I go to the bathroom? My heart, I literally cried, but she didn't know that Ruby was crying. Me, a crying baby, as always. That's how deep the situation in the country is. And here you are finding that funny. You're sick in your head. It's not a Chamisa issue. Chamisa is an advocate. He's a professional. He's got a job. He's got a family. He's got his wife is an attorney. They both have a life. You saw him eating grapes during the campaign trail. We're talking about your brothers and sisters in the row who are suffering. It's not a Chamisa issue, This thing is bigger than what you think. Look how we are being treated. Some people have been sitting on this project for literally years. Can you even just tell me if this was a Citizen Coalition for Change person who was given this project in Gwanda? Was he still be there today? Definitely not. You should not ask yourself, why do we keep on accepting wrong in our society? It's because of the way we turn against each other than to face the real culprits. We always want to hate one another, to accuse each other, instead of saying, who is really the real culprit right here? ZANU-PF is the real culprit. These toxic people you call elites, I don't know what you call them. You're trying to give them some glamour. So these evil people who have kept us at ransom for decades, they deserve anything that comes their way, especially evil. I dare me not, I don't feel nothing. Sometimes I can extend grace, but with these ones, I don't extend no grace. I can't wait to see them paying it heavily in the multiplication of the wickedness they've actually shown our people. How can somebody who sat with the project for years never deliver? Still pumping out cars, still be caught again through the gold mafia as a corrupt individual, is again being given the same project that if either he's going to carry on with the project for $172 million US. Do you know how much that is? 172 million to someone who is not even delivering. Or else you're gonna pay him 22 million and he can walk scot-free. You know, what is that supposed to mean to you? What is that supposed to mean to you? Show me a country that can allow such kind of nonsense, except in Zimbabwe. Show me. Show me a country that can allow such, that can show that we no longer have conscience. We are dead inside. A person will never deliver. No company anywhere across the board. Even for you people maybe here, or any person who's going to be listening to this video, if you employ someone to do the work, and if they don't deliver what you do, you cancel the contract immediately. You give them the time frame. You're going to deliver in the next 2-3 months or so. If you don't, I cancel. The conditions in the contract must be well stipulated. But now you see years, and the country is still in the dark. And it comes back, take you to the court, dragging your feet while he's importing cars in the country. No lifestyle audit. This guy flaunt money everywhere, buying chains of 1.2 million. And you are seeing him. And today you want to give him again 172 million business, or else you give him 22 million US dollars and he's just going to walk scot-free. Honestly, something must be wrong in our heads. And what you do, you go after the poor to take the money in the form of tax. From the poor again, you are scanning almost every little dollar from the poor. You begin to ask yourself questions. This is not a political issue. This is evil that is at play right in front of us. And we think it's politics. It's not. Politics is simply literally just a facade. They use it to manipulate. Using it, you think nothing is political here. Did we have any elections in the country? Definitely not. We all know there was never an election, right? Because it was a sham. You saw the report afterwards. You not forget about the reports. You experienced what happened on the election day. On top of that, they started all this drama recalling absolutely nothing that's going down. And everyone is thinking that it's about Chamisa who's the problem. Really? Chamisa is the problem of where the country is going right now. He's the problem again that you guys got so all manner of tax. It's a problem that you're being charged such exorbitant price in terms of a passport comparing to other countries. He's a problem that you guys are going to be paying such a high fees on toll gas. It's his problem. It's his problem. That Songezo Shavangu is doing what he's doing is Chamisa's problem. Honestly, some of the things just need us to use. We don't need to use all our brains. I think if your part of your brain is functioning, you should really know who the problem and the culprit is. So people asking questions. The president have declared another by-election that is coming in February, as we speak right now. On the 3rd of February, there's another by-election. All the other areas that Songezo also recalled. And the people are still in the court. What is that supposed to tell you? It's a script. It's definitely a script. Quite very interesting. But and he's a very patient God. But you're eventually going to prevail with time. Now, good news. Good news to the Zimbabweans. Hello. If you're Zimbabwean and you own a ZEP, good news. At least you're being given a breather. A breather. You're being given a breather. So South Africa has extended the Zimbabwean Exemption Permits. It's not 2 years, as per my understanding. They said it's only up to 2024. But I don't know where people are getting the 2 years from. But I was listening to that, that presser. He said 2024. But I can still confirm if people want to. But in my, I heard 2024. But I saw Hope Watching wrote 2025, and I was like, But then somebody had to go in and just screenshotted the page and also show him that it's actually 2024. It's not 2025. So at least people has been given a breather. We thought they would not allow you because of this upcoming election, but I'm sure they're confident. You've seen their numbers, during the campaign trial. So they may be confident that they're going to win election, but I don't think ANC will win elections at all. I don't think so. South Africans are angry. They're not going to be, playing it. They're very, very angry. So, those good news, at least good news. You are not sitting with this triple sitting, at least. But which makes me really wonder when I sit and start to compare two countries, Zimbabwean situation and then the South African situation. Look, these are South Africans actually accommodating Zimbabweans in their own country, but Zimbabweans in their own country. And I asked this question earlier on, that are you guys proud to be Zimbabwean? Honestly, are you proud to be Zimbabwean? Are you proud to be Zimbabwean? Because for me, I love my country, but as far as I am concerned, all this that is happening right now make me question a lot of things. To say I do love my country and I do love my people. I do love my ancestors as well, but what's going down in the country will make me question a lot of things. I cannot begin to fathom that the very some people that we expect to protect us and to love us as young people, you know, and to lead and to counsel, to correct where applicable, are the same people that have turned against us. Literally doing it like openly. They don't hide. You know, to me, it makes me question a lot of things. With all love that I have for my country and the love that I have for my fathers, for every person, every Zimbabwean, it makes me question a lot of things. Honestly, I'm trying, but it's not making sense because it's working against everything that I know is right. You know, have you ever been in a position where you are forced to believe in a lie and you know the truth? I think that's where I am right now, is the fact that I'm being forced to believe in a lie. That on its own to me don't make no sense. Like I said, with all my respect for every Zimbabwean, it does not make no sense. Why do we sit in a situation of this caliber with all the education that we have, but we seem to be just roaming around the circle? You know, we get into another new year where people have expectations. Other countries, people are writing down what are the goals. I was expecting us to be sitting in meetings right now, planning, but every meeting people there is just planning to steal and loot. It's all about stealing. You saw it too, spoke about that 2 blocks of classrooms. That's this, they're alleging to spend 380,000 K, 2 blocks of classroom. It means the looting has really reached another level because everywhere people are just looting. Everyone knows how to loot. No. They don't even know. I don't think they even understand that there's what's called right and wrong. There's no more difference between the right and wrong. You know, you can do as you please as long as you can have covering. As long as there's a politician or someone who may be known who has a hand there, then you are safe. Then you are cool. You know, it is quite sad. It is really very, extremely sad, in my opinion. But anywho, what can we do? We keep on, you know, trusting God and see where we are going. You know, so Dr. Gift Mugano said there is a compelling case for Parliament to reject Ngcube's budget. So we want to see what the Parliament is going to do as far as this budget is concerned. Like I said, I didn't understand anything because they're all in Zim dollar, the local currency. I don't even know how to calculate it. I don't even know what that means. That is another pandemic that I don't really understand. Because we can go for decades without our own money. You know, considering the minerals that we have in the country. And the only thing I'm seeing about these bigger fish is their big tummies. They are growing big tummies that you are like, because they're eating and drinking. You know, they don't have problems. If you can take a person from the rural and let them stand with any politician. No, this politician from ZANU-PF, to be specific, their tummies are all over to all the way there because they're eating and drinking. So now you start to ask yourself questions. Are they really going through what we do? Or definitely not. And we still don't have our own currency. But there's a lot of money that is hidden in foreign lands. But we still don't have our own currency. It really does not make sense. It really doesn't make sense, honestly. And also Tendai, by the way, I told you that you know, Themba Mliso was literally on Tendai's corner. You know, he's adamant on that. I just want to read the tweet that he sends out. He said, this budget makes the punks for Tendai in the National Assembly even more acute, foreseeing how his talents cannot be replicated by anyone now that he is no longer there. He would address this budget to its barest, revealing all that is hidden and implied. I disagree on that. I think there's quite a number of young people who are smart and intelligent who can also be used by God to really change the situation. You need to remember, in each and every generation, there's always going to be those people that God equips. You know, equips for the purpose. So for you to say that you know, it's only like there's no tenability, as if these people that we have currently that won't be having a say in Parliament, is definitely wrong. That is not correct. as much as I respect Tendai, I also still have to appreciate the fact that we have so many young people who are much educated, who are also, we need also the platform to shine. You know what I mean? To shine. We need to create a culture of people who believes in mentorship. You know, South Africa is good at that. Who believes in mentoring the young people. You can't be a nation who just say the old people must just be the one holding Chimuti. You see the power of impartation. Let me tell you the danger of the power of impartation. And I've always been talking about, you will see if Chamisa get into the office. I can tell you facts, yeah. And that may be the reason why this whole thing is delaying, because the enemy is at work. He's fighting with destiny. We are at war with destiny. Is the moment Nelson Chamisa gets in that office as a president, you will see how many men are going to get married. You will see how many men are going to respect marriage. I'm telling you facts. Because they will look up to him as a mentor and say, you know what, look at him. He looks happy. There is something that just comes with association. The reason why today, families are in disarray, there is chaos everywhere. It drops from the top. It starts from the top. And then that poison drips. And then it filters to our society. That's what happens. Power of association. Check every family when mom and daddy have a stable marriage. Very stable marriage. Check what happens with the kids. They're all going to be married in good families. Stable marriages. And you'll be wondering why. Because it's the anointing, it filters into everyone around. And you check for those that come from broken homes, what happens? What happens to most of them? They struggle to actually have a stable relationship in life because they were surrounded by brokenness. If they don't get to find mentorship, like the correct mentorship earlier on in life, and begin to follow through and be humble enough to be taught, they're gonna lose it. They're not gonna make it, unfortunately. It is what it is. Our families are broken because it drips from the top. Don't talk even about worry about your parents. It drips from the top. It's all about the leadership. Something's wrong in the country. The abnormal has been turned to be the normal. Very sad and wrong, and it is wrong. Everything is confusion. You can't see inspiration. You can't see mentorship in the country. You can't even say this person can mentor me. They mentor you going where? They literally just also work in confusion, notwithstanding their education. Unless if they're not in the country. If you look at a person like Masiwa, maybe because he's not in the country. You know, I would look up to Masiwa and his wife because they're not in Zimbabwe. And also the other people are amazing. I've got families who are married in the country. But honestly, we must all be on. We must tell each other the truth that we are losing no mentorship at all from all these people. They don't know how to stand for what's right, and we are, instead of learning, we're actually hating them. We don't like them. We do not like them. It's not like we say, I don't like them. Like, I would love them unconditionally because God he commanded me to love, but I don't like them because they don't have the qualities that I would want to actually, to replicate. They don't have. They can't project that on me. It's a mess. And I don't care what car they're driving. I don't see any human in them. They have no heart. They have no conscience. In my world, I don't see any human in them. So for that reason, I can't follow them. I respect them, but I cannot. And he went on to say, BT remains a class above and is a national asset that should have been protected for national good. Heckling, as is prevalent now, is no longer enough for the likes from Tuli Zavanini. They need to be interrogated by someone with the right aptitude in the area. Why not talk about Mugano? He's also top class. Mugano is exceptional. He can be the Minister of Finance. Because, Tuli knows actually Mugano is his threat. He kicked him out of ESCOM for a reason. He's a smart. Is it ESCOM? Why am I calling? Is it? No, it's not ESCOM. But what's the name of this company? Is it ESCOM? I think ESCOM is a South African company, right? I don't know how I'm mixing the two. But there was is it ZESA? They were in a company where they were both like board members or something, and then Mutuli bullied him. He alleged that he was bullied, and he left. But I still think that give young people a chance to also shine. It doesn't have to be only one person. Zisco, thank you, Takura, thank you much. You can see how people are so paying attention. Zisco. I'm saying ESCOM. Where did I get ESCOM from? Me and my ESCOM. Another looting that happens also on the other side of town. Another scandal. But it's Zisco. Thank you so much for actually reminding me. Yes, So he's incredible. Mugano is top class. You know, he could be the greatest finance minister. But you remember I told you that he was looking up to Mthuli was his mentor. But unfortunately, I don't know. Of course, Mthuli lost it by just being in the midst of bootlickers and manipulators, you know, and abusers of power. So when you're in that position, definitely things can go wrong. It's common sense, the power of association. And then it is as a financial fundi that he is, who would provide enlightenment, direction for the rest of us. Then Isu Anaburu, Tichipinda Omanja, along with the likes of Settlement, Chukwinya, Mazimure, Brian Dube, former economic minister, development minister, Tapiwa Mashakada, and Muparirwa. So, you know, Temamli is so pride in his talkative nature, and he thinks he's very smart. That's what he thinks, because he's very talkative. But he is not. You know, he's not that. He thinks he's that, but he does not have the quality of that. Temba, he doesn't have it. He thinks, but he's not there, actually. He's just too vocal because he lacks authenticity. You know, he's like a snake with two heads. He bite there, you go then bite on the other side. He's a gossiper. So let's put it that way. That's why it's a bit tricky. And one could see and feel the weight of substance in the debates. I remain respectful and awed by BT because his brilliance is an apparent across the political divide. He is kind that every voter should seek to put into office is a vote well used. But we don't want that. The rules are that if people went to competition and you lost, it is what it is. I don't care your name, where you come from, and how much you think you know. People should be put in their place. You failed, it is what it is. Speaking of head without knots, BT could frame this budget in the manner that it is digestible for everyone. And masking the shenanigans of authorities, there is more than in nostalgia. Is factual recollection and an awareness of what we miss with him being gone. He's not gone. He's still in Zimbabwe. He's still there. He's not gone anywhere. So, and you do not have to be in parliament in order for you to make an impact. You don't have to. You really do not have to be, a politician to make an impact. Anybody can make an impact. This is what we need to eradicate in Zimbabwe. So many people are pushing to be in politics and they don't have the calling to serve. That's why we have got a mess in our country. So as far as I know, I'm like, no, please. Let's actually let the right people do the work. You must have a heart to serve. So if what you only after is the fact that you must have a heart to serve, and you must not feel like without you, nothing can happen. That spirit is not great. We must have people in parliament because they have the heart to serve. And also, our people need to know that you do not have to be in the center of power to make an impact. Impacting life, you can impact anywhere, anyhow, in any means. You know what I mean? Even after the presidential bid for the presidential position of Obama, he's still making impact in life. You know, we must understand this is why we're still sitting with all the people who are absolutely adding no value in parliament today, because they're thinking by just having a position, it makes that's making impact. The country is in a mess. Check the rural area, no development, because people who are not supposed to be in position are forcing themselves to be there. That's why things are not moving. And we need to do away with that. Tendai this time expired. Let us also give young people a chance. You can still consult. You can still motivate. You can still counsel and mentor them. Again, you're still serving, because when you serve, you don't serve for the people. When you serve people, you're serving God. So if you want to be seen, you are never there to serve. So with that being said, I'm going to land right here. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. And here we are, CCC. They said they're waiting to be briefed, but I'm sure they were still going to come back to court. And this whole court thing, it just, yeah. In my opinion, it's simply a waste of time. But let's see where they are going. We keep on praying and we believe and we support. I'm not going to leave Nelson Chamisa and everybody. I'm not going to leave you, my family, everyone in CCC. I'm not leaving you. I'm here. I'm not going in nowhere. I do it cross. I'm here. And no thing will move me. I'm here until we cross the River Jordan. We're going to cross together. I'm not giving up. So you must also know that all that you are seeing right now is simply trying to stop you. But a winning spirit will say, you can't stop us. We stop when we want to. You will stop because we won't stop. As a matter of fact, they're very close to go to heaven. So some of them can just wake up falling tomorrow, anytime, any day, and we're still going to be here. So we are not going nowhere. Definitely nowhere. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. So I'll see you later. I love you all. God bless you and God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.